Okay. So, good morning, all of you. I'm Mrs. Jubi Borwa Mondol. On behalf of the Anti-Ragging Committee of St. John College, Dimapur, Nagaland, welcome you all in this program on the topic Ragging is a Crime. Since now the first semester students, they have already started their class, so they should know regarding that ragging is a crime, and our St. John College is a ragging-free campus. So our resource person, Sir Keto, he is a good friend of mine. In a short time only, we became a good friend. So I request him to give a talk on this topic where their students will be aware of the ragging is a crime, and also regarding what punishment is there if any ragging is done, and what are the steps or measures can be done by the institution also. I request our resource person to take the platform. Sir Keto, you can take the platform now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And first of all, good morning, everyone.
Good
And
morning, sir.
sorry, there was a slight technical glitch, so I could not join on time. Okay. Okay, I think we'll move on straight with the topic. See, I have prepared as briefly as I could to deliver the message on uh, ragging, anti-ragging. So I hope you will also grab something at the end of the session. Okay. First of all, ragging, as we all know, it's a social interaction between seniors and juniors in schools and colleges. Okay, ragging is the term used for the so-called initiation ritual. Okay, practiced in higher education institutions in South Asian countries, including India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. The practice is similar to hazing in North America, Bizutek in France, Prax in Portugal, and other similar practices in educational institutions across the world. However, these interactions have taken a brutal, inhuman, and antisocial form at many times. This ragging is quite a common phenomena even in very highly reputed colleges and institutions. Actually, what the anti-ragging regulations actually started uh, after the Honorable Supreme Court gave a judgment in if you want to see the background how these anti-ragging regulations came into force, then you may want to write down this case number, which was passed by Honorable Supreme Court on 5 0805 2009 in civil appeal number 887 slash 2009. The university grants commission framed UGC regulations on curbing the menace of ragging in higher education institution 2009, which were notified on 17 June 2009 and are to be mandatorily followed by all universities and colleges. Okay, let's start with definition of ragging. Now, what is ragging? Any disorderly conduct, whether by words, spoken or written, or by an act which has effect of teasing, treating or handling with rudeness a fresher or a junior student. That is one. The other one is indulging in a rowdy or undisciplined activities which causes or likely to cause annoyance, hardship, psychological harm, or to raise fear of apprehension thereof in a fresher or a junior student. Okay, the other point is asking the student to do any act or perform something which student will not in the ordinary course, which has the effect of causing or generating a sense of shame or embarrassment so as to adversely affect the physique or psychic of a fresher or a junior student or a junior student. Okay. Now, uh, in the latest development in the year 2016, there was an amendment in the rules which was laid down by the Honorable Court, which comes under Regulation 3 Clause J, okay, which states any act of physical or mental abuse, including bullying or exclusion, targeted at another student, fresher or otherwise, on the ground of color, race, religion, caste, ethnicity, gender, including transgender, sexual orientation, appearance, nationality, regional origin, linguistic identity, place of birth, place of residence, or economic background. All this is the latest amendment which the Honorable Court has given under anti-ragging rules. Okay, so let's see anti-ragging laws in India. Let's come to the body. Okay, some states in India have their own legislation, whereas some states which do not have their own legislation on ragging, and therefore the ragging laws in these states are in accordance with the central regulation on ragging. There are some states in India which have their own anti-ragging rules and laws. Some states like Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Chandigarh, Tripura, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, West Bengal, Goa, Jammu Kashmir, and even in Northeast, if we are to see, Tripura and Assam have their own anti-ragging laws which has been enacted by their legislation. Okay, then, so coming to, so what if, what are, you may like to ask, what are the legislations to check, or what are the rules and what are the laws to check practices of ragging in India? One, it comes under the Indian Penal Code, that is IPC. The second, UGC regulation on curbing the menace of ragging in higher education institutions, 2009, and the other one, the other laws, there is other institute specific regulations, there is AICTE and Medical Council of India also have their own anti-ragging rules. Okay, so under Indian Penal Code, there is the IPC 1860. There are numerous number of sections where you can, where when you feel that you are being psychologically or physically, you are being ragged, you can, these are the laws, these are the number of, there are numerous sections. I don't know if I going technical, if I go technically, I will be able to make you understand. Okay, because these are all, it comes under the IPC, and some of you must be familiar with the IPC as well. In one, these are some of the provisions which I would like to share. See, the provisions under IPC which can be used by a student to register an FIR in the nearest police station. The provisions are under section 279 of IPC, obscene acts and songs. That is one. Number two, under section 323, punishment for voluntarily causing hurt. Then we have under 324, voluntarily causing hurt by dangerous weapons or means. The other one is under section 325, punishment for voluntarily causing grievous hurt. Then comes under section 326. Okay, 326, voluntarily causing grievous hurt by dangerous weapon. 339, wrongful restraint. 340, wrongful confinement. 341, punishment for wrongful restraint. And also 342, punishment for wrongful confinement. And 500, under section 506, punishment for culpable homicide not amounting to murder. See, if, since we are all very much, internet is very much at our disposal, if somebody is willing to check later on, I can repeat the IPC sections. Should I repeat, madam?
Sir, I think it's okay. Students, do you want the sections to be repeated? Any one of you can unmute yourself and speak out. Do you want the sections to be repeated?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sir, they
Okay.
are telling yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. And just you might not have the book, but it is always accessible in the internet. Okay. Under section under Indian Penal Code 1860. Okay. Under section 294, section 323, section 324, 325, 326, 339, 340, 341, 342, 506. So those are the sections, the provisions under IPC. Okay, now let's talk briefly on the regulations under the UGC regulation for curbing the menace of rigging in higher education institutions 2009. These regulations were passed by the University Grants Commission, the UGC, in the year 2009 to curb the menace of rigging in the universities in India. Now, Regulation 6 talks about the measures for prevention of rigging at the institution level. It lays down the steps an institution has to follow during the admission and registration process. A student during the admission process has to file an affidavit along with his parents or guardian's signature stating that he will not be indulged in rigging other students directly or indirectly. Also, the institution has to publish the names and contact numbers of anti-ragging committees of the university. Madam, I think even in our college, I think that is also included in the prospectus.
Yes, sir.
The
The UGC, what steps are being taken, all are included. I think the
yeah.
new prospectus, they include all these things. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's go to Regulation 6.3 says that every institution shall constitute a committee to be known as the Anti-Ragging Committee to be nominated and headed by the head of institution and consisting of representatives of civil and police administration, local media, non-government organizations involved in youth activities, representatives of faculty members, representatives of parents, representatives of students belonging to freshers category as well as senior students, non-teaching staffs, and shall have a diverse mix of membership in terms of gender. It shall be the duty of the anti-ragging committee to ensure compliance with the provisions of the regulations as well as the provisions of any law for the time being enforced concerning ragging, and also to monitor and oversee the performance of the anti-ragging squad. It shall be the duty of the anti-ragging squad to make surprise raids on hostels and other places vulnerable to incidents of and having the potential of ragging. Now let's go to regulation number 7. Lays down that on receipt of any information concerning any reported incident of ragging, the head of institution shall immediately, if the case under the penal laws is laid out, is to either on his own or through a member of the anti-ragging committee, proceed to file first information report, that is FIR, within 24 hours of receipt of such information or complaint. Now, regulation number 9 lays down that the anti-ragging committee of the institution shall take an appropriate decision in regard to punishment or otherwise, depending on the facts of each incident of ragging and nature and gravity of the incident of ragging established in the recommendations of the anti-ragging squad. Now, there are also other, not only UGC, in our state, like Nagaland University, we follow the UGC rules. Okay. Now, apart from this UGC and IPC provisions, There are also other government bodies which have their own laws on ragging in their respective acts. For example, the All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE, and Medical Council of India have their own regulations under their representative acts. Okay, the AICTE has created All India Council for Technical Education, Prevention and Prohibition of Ragging in Technical Institutes, universities including deemed to be universities imparting technical education regulations 2009. Under Section 23 and Section 10 of the AICTE Act, that is just for information. Okay. So, and similarly,
Students, I request all to mute themselves. Students, please mute yourself. I'm so sorry, sir.
it's okay, it's okay. Since this is a new trend, so there'll be slightly some technical. Okay.
Yeah,
So similarly,
yes.
the Medical Council of India has made its own laws under the name Medical Council of India Prevention and Prohibition of Ragging in Medical Colleges, Institutions, Regulations 2009 under Section 33 of the Indian Medical Council Act 1966. So now I think coming to the important point. Okay, this part is very important. I think these areas the students should be knowing. So let's ask ourselves what constitutes ragging. One may wonder that ragging in the simplest form may be those very. One may think that this ragging, taking it in a very light manner. Some people, since we are still yet to educate ourselves, and then the anti-ragging laws has not very much been no much awareness has been created yet. But I suppose the institutions are taking utmost care to spread more awareness. I believe so. So, see, what constitutes ragging? One, if you can think of is abetment to ragging. Abetment to ragging, it means you are abetting someone, which means you are, we say you are trying to let somebody make or do something. Okay, that is called abetting. Without you actually going into the picture, that also constitutes ragging. Okay, the other one is criminal conspiracy to rag. The other one is unlawful assembly and rioting while ragging when you are in the place of occurrence. Violation of decency and moral through ragging. Injury to body causing hurt or grievous hurt. Injury or wrongful restraint. Wrongful confinement. Use of criminal force. Extortion. Assault. Sexual offenses. Unnatural offenses. Criminal intimidation. Offenses against property. Attempt to commit any or above of the offenses. Any offenses flowing from the definition of ragging. Now, all this constitutes ragging. Okay, now, so let's see what are the punishments. What are the punishments for ragging? Okay, whether you are abetting it or not, or whether you have actually committed the crime or not, you are in both ways you'll be liable for all this. Okay, these are some of the punishments. One can be cancellation of admission. The other one could be suspension from attending classes. 3, withholding or not getting your scholarship and other benefits from the government agency or from the institution. Debarring from appearing in any test, examination, or other evaluation process. Withholding your results. Or debarring from representing the institution in any national or international meet, tournament, youth festival, etc. Or suspension, expulsion from the hospital, rustication from the institution for periods varying from first to fourth semesters or equivalent period, expulsion from the institution and consequent debarring from admission to any other institution, or fine up to rupees 25,000. Okay, there are if you make more research on ragging laws in India, you would see that students who are being convicted under the anti-ragging laws and rules, these they have no more future, right? They they will not be entitled to government jobs. That is one, and you might not get admission in any other institutions. And I think this is very important for us to know. Uh, Even if there are if you see technically, if I were to say on technical grounds, on if okay, in a very layman's language, let me say, if you are facing any kind of ragging, or if you have faced any sort of ragging, you can now one must be wondering how to go about, how to file your complaint, or how to go about. So you can always approach the head of institution. That is one. Or in case of there are also other numerous ways. Okay, where when you feel like you have not got justice, where that where you have faced ragging, and then justice is not done to you. There are always higher ups where you can appeal your complaint. Okay, if you have time, if you just browse through internet, you'll find more of how to go about. Okay, instead of me, if I were to go a long list, so in the simplest form, if there is always a room for appealing your complaint. That is what I wanted to say. See, the University Grants Commission has adopted something called zero zero tolerance policy. I don't know if you have heard of this or not. Zero tolerance policy. Okay, it states no act of ragging, major or minor, shall go unnoticed. No ragger, male or female, student or non-student, shall go unpunished. No institution that fails to take action against ragging shall be allowed to operate. So, in a way, the institution is also playing a very a very major role in curbing this ragging. And the UGC regulation clearly states that if any school or institution fails to fails to entertain or fails to give proper measures, defenses against the victims, and if it comes to their knowledge, then the school or the university is likely to be closed. See, the primary responsibility to curb ragging would vest with the educational institution, like I've been saying. Okay, there is a requirement to active participation of media and civil society, as well as in controlling them. Exercise of the disciplinary authority of the teachers over the students, and the management of the institutions over the teachers and students. No effort should be made to minimize the number of reported cases. Reporting is to be encouraged through all available means. Anti-ragging movements should be initiated by the institutions right from the time of advertisement for admission. The prospectus, the form for admissions, and or for any other literature issued to the aspirant for admission must clearly mention that ragging is banned in the institution, and anyone indulging in ragging is likely to receive deterrent punishment. Okay, so after there was no doubt that ragging was existent prior to 2009 as well, but like I have said uh, on the case law, this case law took a very ugly turn, where I think, if I'm not mistaken, a medical student was raped by four of his seniors, and then which eventually led to the death of the junior student. So I think after that, mm, the laws has become very stern when it comes to dealing with ragging in educational institutions, especially. And ragging also does not only mean that a senior to a junior. Okay, the it also includes the non-teaching staffs as well. And in most cases, we see that it is between seniors and juniors, but it can be otherwise as well. And the law is also very clear on that. So, madam, I think if any of the students want to ask any practical question, if I can answer,
Yes, sir.
I
Yeah.
I'll try my best.
Yes, sir. Okay, students, if you have any question, you can put in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and speak to our resource person. Students, do you have any question? Okay, I think someone has raised a hand.
Okay.
Hello,
Yes,
good
you can.
morning.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes,
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 yes.
you are audible. Yes.
Sir, I have a question. Is there ever a chance of how we can completely exterminate or kill off these evil practices such as ragging and bullying?
Okay, okay. So, if you see in India, many NGOs, particularly many NGOs, are taking the initiative to stop this ragging. So, so this ragging, we cannot say that no, this should be stopped immediately because no one is encouraging anyone to rag anyone in any form. Which before your admission, I'm sure you have also signed in an affidavit saying that you will not be indulged in ragging, if I'm not wrong. So these are the measures, okay. And then mostly this ragging, I'm sure no institute, no teachers or non-teaching staffs encourage ragging in any manner. But the thing, it lies with us, okay. So the law is very clear that it is illegal. So ragging in any form is illegal. Okay, well, so it is very clear that ragging is illegal and should be stopped. So these are some of the mechanisms which the government has adopted to stop ragging. Is it? Did I make any point to your question?
Yes, sir, you did justice. Thank you for the
Yeah.
answer.
So it lies with you and me. Okay, not to practice, and then this is very it is a very harsh crime. Okay, this will amount to a lot of, once you are caught ragging in any manner, it will definitely spoil your future.
I hope our resource person was able to answer the question. Any more question do you have? You can put your question in the chat box also.
I think if we had physically have this, I think there would be many more questions which students might like to ask. Since it is very virtual, it has become very very hard for them also, no?
Yeah. I'm sorry, my network is a little bit unstable.
No, no problem, no problem.
Uh, okay, so anyone you are having any question? Yes, students, do you have any question?
Okay, since no questions are there from students in the chat box, or they are not unmuting themselves to speak out, so I think we can wind up the program now. So I really thank to sir, who have in a very short duration of time he have accepted my request, and he have came to give a talk on ragging is a crime. I am really thankful to you, sir. And I'm also thankful to the students, those who have joined, and as well as to my member, anti-ragging committee member, as well as faculty member also I can see here. I'm really thankful to all of you for joining this program and making this program a fruitful and informative one. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and one more information I want to give to the students for the first semester. In the college lobby, if you have seen, we are having a complaint box, that is anti-ragging complaint box. If you have faced this kind of ragging problem, you can put your complaint in the complaint box, or else you can also come to the teacher directly. I, Mrs. Jubi Borua, then also Dr. Toshinla from botany department, as well as Miss Nunchi from history department. You can approach us if you are facing this kind of ragging from your seniors. Although in our St. John College we are not having ragging problem or ragging issues, but then also we can't say. So if any students are facing the problem, you can approach the teacher, or you can put the complaint in the complaint box that you have in the college lobby. Okay, I'm thankful to all of you. Thank you once again. Thank you, sir.
Very welcome.
Glass. Online class. Online class.
Meeting.
You got the link. Finish. Still taking. Good. Not yun na.
Yeah, taking what?